With more than 6,000 small and microcap companies listed, if you're looking for the next Apple at the earliest stage, then channelchek truly is the orchard. The listed companies support channelchek, so it's free for you, the potential investor, to gain access to institutional quality research from FINRA licensed analysts, advanced market data, industry reports, news, and a growing catalog of videos and webcasts. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and register for channelchek so you're always up to date on what's going on at the small and microcap data place. Welcome to the C-Suite series presented by channelchek and Noble Capital Markets. Noble is an SEC-registered FINRA-licensed broker-dealer and the source of the equity research available on channelchek. Today's interview features Helius Medical Technologies, NASDAQ ticker symbol HSDT. Noble Senior Research Analyst Joe Gomes interviews Helius Interim CEO Dane Andreeff. Visit channelchek.com or click the link in the description for Noble's research on Helius Medical Technologies, as well as news and advanced market data. And now, here's Joe and Dane.
With us today is Dane Andreeff, Interim CEO of Helius Medical Technologies. Good afternoon, Dane, and thanks for taking the time to sit down with us.
Good afternoon, Joe, and thank you for this time, and I look forward to having this fireside chat.
So empowering the healing process of the brain is the company's mission. For those in the audience unfamiliar with Helius, can you talk a little bit about the company's history and what you do along with your personal history with the company?
Sure, Joe. That's a great question. The technology came out of the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Helius was formed around that technology of neurostimulation into neurological diseases and trauma. And the company was formed in 2014. It was originally listed on Toronto Exchange, which it still is listed on Toronto, but now it's also listed on the NASDAQ. My history with the company, at the present, I'm the interim CEO. I came from 3.5 years of being a board member and an investor starting in and around 2017. My background, I ran a hedge fund for close to 20 years out of New York and Louisiana. I was part of the Tiger Management Organization for almost 13 years. In August, I did something very interesting when shareholders and the board were looking for a different direction in leadership. I took on the challenge. For the last 10 months, I took no salary, no cash bonuses, no long-term incentives. So I'm clearly working for shareholders, as I own over 5% of the company myself. But I also didn't want to take anything away from our wonderful group of employees at this time.
So, Portable Neuromodulation Stimulator, or PoNS Device. Can you describe the current treatment protocol and why the use of the trigeminal nerve?
Sure. Another great question. So right now, the PoNS device, or as you stated, the Portable Neuromodulation Stimulator, I actually have the controller around my neck. It goes around your neck. There is a mouthpiece that plugs into it, and it goes into your mouth on top of your tongue. And if you look at it, if you see this, there's 143 gold-plated electrodes where the energy comes out of, and it stimulates your trigeminal nerve. So the treatment, the current treatment, is a 14-week treatment in combination with physical therapy. Your first 2 weeks are done in a neuro rehab center, and it is a daily treatment of twice a day for 20 minutes in combination with your physical therapy and your exercises. The next 12 weeks, you take the device home and you do your exercises at home. So what are we treating? We're treating balance and gait dysfunction across neurological diseases and trauma. Right now, we're cleared in Canada for gait deficit in MS, as well as balance and gait deficit in mild to moderate traumatic brain injury. As well, in March of this year, March 26th, we received clearance for high unmet needs in gait deficit in MS, multiple sclerosis. So why do we treat the trigeminal nerve through the tongue? Well, the trigeminal nerve is one of 12 cranial nerves that has the most contact points in and around your brain. So the main contact, and this is a non-implantable, non-invasive device, it goes on top of your tongue and it stimulates the trigeminal nerve. And basically what we're doing is creating a healing of the brain, a changing of the brain as we increase blood oxygen and blood flow to the brain.
Interesting. So how extensive is the clinical evidence for efficacy?
For MS, we have 2 clinical trials. One's a before and after functional MRI study of 3 areas of the brain in combination with physical therapy. We also have a placebo, a pure non-stimulating device that is in combination with PT. So what we're comparing is our device and physical therapy against PT alone, which is the existing treatment for a lot of balance and gait patients. So right now, we showed in that first trial an increase in blood oxygen and blood flow to the brain. Our second trial, the Tyler study, which was a trial similar to the first trial, but we were showing an increase in the dynamic gait index. So this is very important. So we did 10 patients on our device in combination with physical therapy, and then we also had a pure placebo device using that's a non-stimulating device plus PT. And the clinical evidence was clearly exceptional. It was twice the performance of just PT alone. It increased faster. Your gait and balance came back faster, quicker. And after that 14-week treatment, it held its gains. It was 100% greater than just PT alone, physical therapy. And actually, after week 10, our study showed that physical therapy actually starts regressing and drops back off. So clearly, our PoNS device is one and only treatment right now, not only for MS in the United States, but also MS and TBI in Canada.
So before we dive into the positive news from late March, can we talk a little more about your end markets? You mentioned MS, trauma. What areas are you currently providing treatment? What areas are you currently researching? What areas is the PoNS technology applicable? How big is the total addressable market? And what is so important about helping people with gait and balance deficit?
Yeah. So a lot of questions, Joe. So let me just break that up one at a time. So let's talk about the total addressable market for MS patients in the United States and also Canada. Right now, there's 94,000 Canadian patients that have MS. In the United States, there's always that factor of 10. So there's over 1 million U.S. patients suffering from MS in the United States, where almost 41% of them have a gait dysfunction in the United States. So a very large, addressable, well-known market in MS. What other areas are we currently researching? We're also researching stroke patients, because remember, a common symptom across these neurological diseases and trauma is balance and gait. If you look left, if you look right, you lose your balance, or look up, you lose your balance. You can't go up and down stairs. You can't lift your leg over something. So the quality of life is dissipated when you have a balance and gait dysfunction. Whether it's a TBI in a car accident or in a sporting event, whether you have a chronic disease like MS, and then of course stroke. The problems with stroke is these are long-term events that decrease the quality of your life. So what we're doing in treating is balance and gait. And if we could increase people's walking, balance, and they basically are getting on with life. They're going back to work. They're going back to school. So that is what we're treating.
So the company's biggest recent news was the receipt of marketing authorization from the FDA here in the US for the PoNS device. It already received breakthrough designation from the FDA. Can you tell us what this means for the device and the US market opportunity?
So it's dramatic, and I just want to thank all our employees. They did such a terrific job. The founders, the clinical researchers, and of course our shareholder base. So what does it mean when you have clearance from the FDA? Well, first and foremost, we're so excited, and we just want to thank the FDA for that clearance. Because we went through the breakthrough designation, there's an opportunity around reimbursement and Medicare. So at the moment, it's a pending policy that unfortunately just got pushed out to December. But you needed two things for reimbursement. First, you needed your breakthrough designation, which is an expedited pathway for your de novo application. And second, if you did receive clearance, you could apply into the new MCIT rule for reimbursement, which states if you have both, you would receive your first 4 years of reimbursement under Medicare. So Medicare right now has over 60 million patients. We believe there's at least 100,000 MS patients under Medicare at this moment. So it's very exciting for us. We're going to be patient with the MCIT rule. We're pursuing other opportunities with Medicare under reimbursement and also with private insurers. So those are long lead times. As well, we mentioned on last night's call, our earnings call, we're authorized and accredited now in 24 states. So, and we'll continue on increasing the number of states that we could sell into.
That's great. Now in Canada, the PoNS program is available in about 32 treatment centers. Are there plans for additional expansion in Canada? And can you talk a little bit about your approach for U.S. commercialization?
Yep. So in Canada, last year, we actually only had 7 neurophysical therapies clinics. And even through COVID, which shut down the opportunity to treat patients because of COVID starting in late March, we were not in control of treating as many patients as possible because the Canadian government had shut down the whole clinic system and the economy for about 5 months. And right now, they went into their last 5-week shutdown, in-home shutdown. And these clinics, even though we're now at 33, and our goal is to be at 40 by the year end. So we're controlling the things we can control. We're training up new neurophysical therapy centers. They're therapists, but we're also engaging with KOLs right now. We're looking at additional things to do on the clinical side in MS as well as in TBI. So that's the update for Canada right now. We're very excited. We know Canada will reopen for us, and hopefully we'll have a lot of pent-up demand. We're starting to see more and more mouthpieces being purchased, meaning patients want to continue past the 14-week treatment.
And in the U.S. commercialization?
So the U.S. commercialization, we're looking to launch our commercialization in the first quarter of 2020. We're a young team, a small team. We're going to build our people resources brick by brick. We're adding people through the interviewing process and search firm right now. We're excited to our plan and look forward to treating as many patients as possible and looking for key opinion leaders to come on board with their word of mouth and really being able to treat their MS patients.
So in the U.S., last night you mentioned about looking for early adopters. Where are you looking for those, and what kind of areas will you go to first to look for people in the U.S.?
So in the fourth quarter, Joe, we formed our scientific advisory board around MS, and those KOLs come from some of the leading institutions in America, like the Cleveland Clinic, the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, and the Kessler Center at Ohio State. So that would just be a few of the KOLs that we would be approaching for basically their approval, but also their ability to treat their patients as well. So we're excited. There's a number of others that are knocking on our door. We have patients, we have neurologists. We're very excited to be able to eventually treat these patients in the first quarter of next year.
Now, Helius has a broad patent portfolio. What competitive advantages does the company have, and how big of a moat does the company possess?
Sure. So we have over 60 patents going out to 2040. So we have a lot of room to operate. Proskauer, our attorneys, did a terrific job building our IP portfolio. We truly own neurostimulation of the tongue in combination with physical therapy and cognitive therapy as well. It is a broad patent portfolio. We also have patents, 4 patents for China as well, which is very interesting. So we also, with China, we have an agreement with the largest medical device company, China Medical Devices. They're also one of our larger investors.
We've talked about the U.S. and Canada. You mentioned a little bit about China. And I know this is very early days here, just in Canada and the U.S. But what other international markets would appear to be attractive for your product?
So like Canada, and it's actually much larger, we have a application pending in Australia with the TGA. So we're hopeful of that application, of good news. But we're focused, Joe, on our commercialization efforts in the United States. Again, it's the biggest market in the world and with the most MS patients. And then second, we're excited about Canada and the ability, when the economy opens up there, the ability to treat a number of patients, not only in MS, but also TBI. Third, we're also looking to expand the label, not only in Canada, but also in the United States.
So lots of potential going forward here.
Absolutely. We've got a big opportunity in stroke in North America. There's 7 million stroke patients in the U.S. alone, of which there's 800 new strokes every year. And those numbers are going to double over the next 10 or 15 years. And there's nothing for these stroke patients. As well, traumatic brain injury, another 7 million people are living with traumatic brain injury. And the FDA came out about a month ago basically telling the public we have nothing to treat patients in traumatic brain injury. And we're the one and only opportunity. Our device, it is a medical device, but when combining it with physical therapy, it's a therapeutic. And over those 14 weeks, we have a good chance of increasing your gait deficit in MS, your balance and gait deficit in traumatic brain injury in Canada at the moment.
A big opportunity for a lot of people to see an improvement in their quality of life.
Absolutely. We're excited and we're up to the challenge and looking forward to announcing a lot of our plans over the next 3, 4, or 5 months.
Now, Dane, in addition to our C-suite interview today, what other steps are you taking or expect to take to help get the Helius story out to the investment community?
Well, Joe, talking to you and everyone at ChannelChek and your investors that follow you, we're excited to be there. We also have an investment bank, Ladenburg. Jeff Cohen has done some great work and great writing on us as well. But I'm out there as a former hedge fund manager. I'm returning calls of every investor, emails of every investor. Speaking at other conferences. I'll be at the World Brain Mapping Conference in July in Los Angeles. Speaking there, we're actually excited because we're accepting an award there for our team's great work in neurostimulation. So I also believe we're going to get the word out when we start treating patients, and the KOLs are out there. The testimonies that we're seeing in the Canadian market are in the Canadian news every day, in print, and it's just exciting when you see someone improve over 2 to 14 weeks of being treated with the PoNS device.
Thank you for joining us for this C-Suite interview presentation brought to you by channelchek. Visit our YouTube channel for more interview content, as well as virtual roadshows and conference presentation replays. New content is added regularly, so subscribe below to stay up to date. Visit channelchek.com or click the link in the description to access equity research, news, and advanced market data on this and the 6,000 other small and microcap companies listed.